The St. Louis Cardinals hold the best record in Major League Baseball so far, but they have been on a slump these past 10 games, going 4-6. The latest loss coming last night. The Cardinals out in Oakland for a series with the A's. Adam Wainwright going to get things started with a strike. He's getting started early today, striking out Jed Lauer in the first. Going to pick this up in the third. Good defense for Oakland as Jed Lauer's going to redeem himself with the sun in his face, and he's all over the place. He's going to make a catch right there. Still 0-0 at this point. Then we're going to pick it up in the fifth. Matt Carpenter is going to single. Then David Freese is going to work his way home. And the throw is going to come from the outfielder. It's going to be very close, but Freese is going to get it. Score is 2-0 at this point. And to wrap things up, who else? Adam Wainwright. 7 scoreless innings in this game, and it ends on a pop fly. Cardinals win 7-1. Wainwright is now 11-5 with 4 complete games this season. Now we're going to take it out to Seattle. The Cubs taking on the Mariners. In the first, Cubs Starlin Castro is going to send one over to center field. His 4th homer of the year. Cubs are up 1-0. In the bottom of the second, Jeff Samardzija is going to give up a home run to Justin Smoke. This is his 8th of the year. Game is tied at 1. Then we're going to pick it up in the 6th, now tied at 2, and the Cubs have a runner on second. Alfonso Soriano breaks his bat, but the ball is still in play. He's going to bat in a batter that's going to be 3-2 at this point. This game went into extra innings, and the Cubs will win 5-3. And check this out, San Diego versus Miami, tied at 2 in the bottom of the 9th. How do you think this is going to end? With a grand slam, Jeff Mathis putting his big boy pants on to give the team a win. Miami takes this game 3 of a 4-game series, leading 2 games to 1. Game 4 is set tomorrow at 7 p.m. The trade heard around the world will not be in effect until July 12th. The Brooklyn Nets Boston Celtics trade, sending Hall of Fame bound Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to the Nets, is sure to shake up the Eastern Conference. Boston will receive their first-round picks in 2014, 16, and 18, along with Chris Humphries, Gerald Wallace, Marshawn Brooks, and Keith Bogans. With Doc Rivers gone and the 2 top veterans gone, look for the Celtics to be in rebuilding mode. And speaking of the Celtics, former Celtic Ray Allen has decided to exercise his $3.2 million option for next season. Allen averaged 10.6 points a game in the finals while going 55% from 3. You may remember he declined a 2-year, $12 million offer from Boston to sign with LeBron and the Heat. He will be 38 next season. I'm Demetrious Lewis, and that's your sports.
Duncan out, who is their best rebounder. Ray Allen is able to reestablish.
Good evening, I'm Demetrious Lewis, and there still may be a few Pacer fans with their jaws stuck to the floor after LeBron James' game-winning layup in Game 1. But good news, there is a Game 2, and Pacer fans can't wait. Neither can their team, the Pacers, looking to even things up at 1. To the first we go, we have Roy Hibbert. He's going to muscle down Chris Bosh. He had 29 and 10 with the jump hook. 24-12 at this point. Last game, both teams had 20 turnovers, and LeBron James hoping to keep that going. 2 right here of his 36. Coach Vogel can't be too happy about that. And the close in the third, Paul George with possibly the slam of the year over Birdman and James. Get another look at that slow-mo. He had 22, putting the team on his back. We're going to take it to the fourth. In the closing moments, once again, LeBron James has the ball in his hands, but he turns it over. He can't close it out. Pacers even things up at 1 game apiece, and we're going back to Indiana with a tied series. San Antonio and Memphis have also had a first competitive 2 games in their series, but their series is 2-0 in favor of the Spurs. They look to make it 3-0 as they go up to Memphis on Saturday night. Tony Parker is leading the way, averaging 21.6 a game. The Spurs looking to move into the NBA Finals for the 4th time in the past 10 years. Game starts at 9 p.m. with Game 4 taking place on Monday. Well, we had a matchup of teams on a different path out west today. The St. Louis Cardinals, #1 in the Central NL, winning 7 of their last 10, while the Dodgers are just 4-6 in their last 10. Cardinals heading out west, fans coming out to support their Dodgers. Scary moment if you're an LA fan here coming up. David Freese, he's going to double to the left. John Jay is going to head home, but he is going to come in contact with A.J. Ellis, the catcher, at the plate. They collide. Ellis would get the worst half of this collision, but he would return. In the third, Allen Craig hits a deep double to give the Cardinals a 3-0 lead. And to put them out of their misery, hey, why not? David, Mr. Freeze, blasts one to the left. The Cards all over LA in this one. They win 7-0. They will play again Saturday night. Well, a former college football star has a new life as an NFL rookie. Tyrann Mathieu, a former Heisman Trophy finalist in 2011, signed a 4-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals Thursday. He was drafted in the third round, number 69 overall. The team did add one provision to protect himself. They would not pay him his guaranteed money if Matthews is suspended for drug use. His new deal includes $662,000 in bonus money if he can play. I'm Demetrious Lewis, and that's your sports. Good evening, I'm Demetrious Lewis. The Pacers have had a full year to think about the Miami Heat knocking them out of the playoffs in last year's postseason. The stakes even higher this time around. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Miami. This is the first time the Pacers have been this deep in the postseason since 2004. Game time is set for 8:30. The Tin Caps back at home this morning in an all-important series against South Bend. The Caps trail the Silverhawks by just a half a game for the final wild card spot, and already down 3-0 in the third. We're going to have Braylon Almondova. He hits a bomb to the center that is originally going to be ruled a double, but the umps are going to get together, have a meeting, have a little coffee. Then they're going to decide, hey, it's a homer. Let's give it to them. South Bend's going to win this one 4-2. The Caps trying to get back into a doubleheader tomorrow beginning at 6. And from baseball to hoops, have you ever thought that you could take on a pro basketball player? If so, then Thursday night Sound Off is for you. We have a 3-point contest during the show at the Sport One Parkview Fieldhouse, with the winner getting a chance to come back next week to take on Mr. Mad Ant, that's right, Ron Howard. Cost is $15 to enter. You can register at the Fieldhouse website, sport1fieldhouse.com. We have a prize package for the winner, so register and come out next Thursday, May 30th. Baseball sectionals getting underway all around the area, and a guy that will be once again a part of the postseason is umpire Tom Neuenschwander. But Dean Pantazzi tells us Tom wears more than one hat down in Ossian.
Tom Neuenschwander is one channel at Carroll. In Ossian, I'm Dean Pantazzi, 21 Alive.
Thank you, Dean. And for Dean Pantazzi and all the sports guys here, I'm Demetrious Lewis, wishing you a good weekend. You know, it's around this time of year when the best of the NBA teams get a chance to prove what they're really made out of. A time where they're forced to show their youth, experience, and will. And you'll get no better matchup than what we saw tonight in Golden State, San Antonio. Seth Curry's going to start right here, draining the three, the first of his many points. He wouldn't go away. But you know the Spurs aren't going to go down easily. Manu Ginobili with 3 of his 22. Going to pick this up in the third. Seth Curry doing what he can to keep his team in the game. He had 22, 7 of 15 shooting. This game was close throughout. Klay Thompson putting the team on his back. He had 10 to tie it at 84. Then we're going to take this game into overtime. Seth Curry, just too much for him as they win 97 to 84. And it turns out the New York Knicks are the ones that have some things to figure out for their game 4 against the Pacers coming up on Tuesday night. On top of their list, how do they contain Roy Hibbert, who owned them in the last game? The Pacers looked for their defense to improve to keep. Good evening, I'm D. Lewis. The NASCAR scene goes to Daytona International Speedway for Saturday night's Coke Zero 400. The American flag covering the infield at Daytona, nothing more American than racing in the summertime. Scary moment right here. Under caution, Carl Edwards is going to run over his own tire, man. Take another look right here. That could have been dangerous, but luckily he's wearing a helmet. 11 laps to go, desperate times call for desperate measures. Denny Hamlin is going to crash, trying to get as good positioning as he can. Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, all involved in this crash. In the final lap to go, Jimmy Johnson's going to hold on, but look at the damage that ensues behind him. No flags come out. Jimmy Johnson is your winner at the Coke Zero 400. The Tampa Bay Rays, with the chance to sweep a series against the White Sox for the first time in that franchise's history, going to take it to the bottom. No score right now. Rays jump out. Ben Zobrist with a line drive to center. Good enough for a sacrifice as Desmond Jennings scores. He's going to tag up and score 1-0 at this point. To the top of the 6th, rookie Josh Pugley. This is going to be a day for him to remember. He's going to take David Price to the left with a homer, his very first homer of his major league career. 2-1 at this point. But David Price going the distance today, getting Valen Bacido swinging out to end the game. Price with a complete game. The second start coming off the disabled list. Braves win 3-1. The Cleveland Indians facing the Detroit Tigers in Game 3 of their 4-game set. Top of the first, the Tigers have hungry eyes. Miguel Cabrera pops one to the left, and it's gone. Cabrera gets his 28th home run of the season. 1-0 Detroit. The Tigers were down to 6-1 at one point, but they would roar back. Torrey Hunter is going to knock this one out of the park with a 3-run hit. This would make it 6-0. 6-all at this point. And then this game came down to the wire, but Michael Brantley with homer to put the game just a little out of reach. Cleveland wins this one 9-6. And just days after Brad Stevens became the new head coach of the Boston Celtics, Butler wasted no time in naming his successor. Former Bulldog player Brandon Miller takes the program over, which moved from the Atlantic 10 Conference to the Big East. He was hired as an assistant back in April after spending last season as a special assistant at Illinois. Miller graduated from Butler in 2003 after scoring more than 1,000 points in his career and leading the team in scoring his final season. The Cleveland Cavaliers getting a little help in their backcourt today via some free agency. Free agent point guard Jarrett Jack has signed a 4-year, $25 million deal with Cleveland. Jack played last season for the Warriors, backing up Seth Curry on the team, which clinched their second playoff berth in almost 2 decades. This will be the 5th team in his 8-year career that he's played on. I'm D. Lewis, and that's your sports. Them in the next game.
I thought we guarded against